Hello, my name is Bradley Davies, the producer of Rob Davies. You probably now know that I've been on this show since 2010, and if you've been watching by then, good for you. Now it's time for me to tell you my story. Bear minding, this story is about my life, nothing else about my life. Well, let's just start with me rewinding back to the date. Now, where's that rewind button? Here we are. The 10th of July, I was born. Alas, I don't know my correct birth date, or as in, I was born. Anyway, here's my story. My story begins when I wanted to be famous at something. Anything. But if you must know, this is before I got into filming. Then, I decided to be famous at anything. Alas, I didn't know what I wanted to be famous at. And as time flied, I began to get interested in filming. Then I got into animation one day at my old school, Park Lane, which I'm really glad that was the one thing that Park Lane really gave me to remember. This guy came in one time because it was animation week in my class, and that gave me the spark to make movies. Well, in my honest opinion, it's just way off before my YouTube page. And while I was doing those things, I made movies, but I never really loaded them up onto YouTube, which was a really rotten shame, really. And in my life of days, half of those films are on my dad's computer, because once I made a film, I didn't know really what to do with my life. I wanted to be famous at something. And as days and months, years and passed, I began to collect loads of toys, because apparently when I was little, my mum told me a few years back, every time I went to a shop, I would refuse to leave without one toy in my hand. Yeah, thanks to my greediness and asking for toys every time, we kinda ended up getting a toy shed full of things I never played with. Yes, it's true, I was that greedy back then, but now I am officially just an ordinary chum that collects toys. Anyway, I'm a bit sidetracked to say. The rest of my life I made films with my camera. I made films with my toys, but I never really sent them to YouTube. And then one day I actually watched a YouTube page called Jala. And if you're watching the guy who created Jala, thanks to you, I am keeping slightly your legacy slightly, because you made me what I am today. Anyway, as time moved on over my life, I began to get more interested in my YouTube page. And when I went to Park Lane, my school, because, well, I would say about my past, but that's a little bit stressful. Also, my mum and dad would not want me to tell you that backstory, probably. But let's just say it's something medical related. Anyway, I went to this school when I was a bit younger and before my YouTube page, and I'd been there for quite a few years. But then when I got to upper sixth form and lower sixth form, my days began to decline, if you know what I mean. No offense, but if you're listening, Park Lane, you can click on one of my videos, but if you're not, prepare to be amazed. Let's just say it was a bit of a long, rambling routine, my days at Park Lane. But every day I wanted to make a video so there was something to look forward to when I get home. But then I got into a slight habit where it was the only thing. Before, I used to just make pictures, but let's just say, thanks to Park Lane, I got into a nasty habit of making films. There was actually a point in my life where I ended up not wanting to draw anything and just do filming. But now, ever since I left Park Lane this summer and moved to a new place called the David Lewis Centre, I was originally going to go to the school, but apparently those Joes wouldn't even care about the money and stuff. But now, I think it's time to ravel my story because it's a bit long now. Long story short, I go to a place called the David Lewis. A very nice place, actually. That's not actually a school that teaches you like Park Lane, where they just force you through everything until they just shove out onto the street and stuff. Let's just say, thanks to them, I hope in the future I learn more to do with my life. And what's going to happen to my YouTube page? Who knows? I may give it up in my teenage years and go back to it after my years at college or university. Actually, I am at college, but maybe I'll give it up in university. But until then, or ever, I, Bradley Davies, will keep my YouTube page running. And until then, have a nice day, folks. Have a nice day.